guys? Welcome back to Average Home Theater. Nelson here. Today I'm going to talk about the new Hulu series Candy. I just finished watching it, and wow, that's like a crazy story. It's a Just to give you a little background. In 1980, June 13th, 1980, this lady named Candy Montgomery murdered, or excuse me, let me rephrase that, killed a lady named Betty Gore. This is a true story. And it's suspected it was over an affair that Candy had with Betty's husband, Alan. So this was like a huge case and all this stuff. And so they made a series about it, right? Well, in 1990, there was a movie made for it. But, I was only 10 years old and, I don't remember this. But when I saw this release a couple weeks ago, I was really intrigued. The trailer was very good. And so it's starring Jessica Biel as Candy Montgomery, Melanie Linsky as Betty Gore, the lady who gets killed. Alan Gore, her husband, is played by Pablo Schreiber. He's Liev Schreiber's half-brother. And I know him from 13 Hours. He plays Tonto, but he's also Master Chief in the Halo series. So some of you may know him from that. And the two deputies that are investigating are Justin Timberlake and Jason Ritter. And Justin Timberlake is married to Jessica Biel, and Jason Ritter is married to Melanie Linsky. So I thought that was kind of neat. I guess they got their husbands to, play this part, because Jessica Biel is one of the producers, so it must have been like a little passion project or something. But so that's a little in the background of what this story is. And as far as the show goes, I'm gonna start off with I'm gonna take my glasses off because I know you can see the glare of the light. I'm gonna start off with what I really liked. Okay, what I really liked about it was the acting. I mean, across the board. The main characters, side characters, everybody killed it. Pablo Schreiber was fantastic as this Alan guy. Now, whether or not these people really like this, I don't know. But for the show and what you see, the part that they play, they were excellent. Justin Timberlake killed it as this, small town Texas county sheriff's deputy. I mean, he was really good. Jason Ritter didn't say a whole lot. What's her name? Melanie Linsky, that plays the victim, Betty Gore. She's really good. She was Rose in 2.5 Men. That's where I know her from, and she was great in playing that part. So that is first and foremost the best part about the whole show. Okay, the acting is superb. What else I liked was how the movie was shot. And just how it looked aesthetically. Like, it looked like 1980. Okay, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I really remember the 80s. The color palette, everything, lots of browns, and everybody's house had browns and orange. I remember we had orange flower wallpaper and stuff growing up. So that aesthetically, they were spot on with that. The camera angles, the cinematography, all that stuff was really good. I really enjoyed that, seeing the different camera or the different shots that they would, make and angles. And it must have been shot on a 4K camera or something, because it was very clean. I didn't see any film grain or anything, so it must have been digitally shot. But I don't know that for sure. And the aspect ratio is pretty big. So it says 16:9 in the tech specs on IMDb, but it didn't quite fill up the side. Like, there was small black bars on the side. So it's close to 16:9, but I love that aspect ratio much more than the 235:1. I don't like them really wide, but this is not an action show, so it kind of really doesn't matter. And the audio, was okay. It's a little 5.1 mix. I mean, it's not action or anything. You can hear a little ambient sounds, the music and whatnot, so it sounded fine. But yeah, visually it's really good. I mean, the director knew what he was doing, the cinematographer knew what they were doing. So it looks like it. Everybody was great. All that stuff was good. What I didn't like, the pacing. It was, look, I like a slow burn, okay, but this was like really slow. It was only 5 episodes. one episode was like 50 something minutes, but I think the shortest one was like right under 40. So I don't know. It seems like it could have been short. It probably could have been 4 episodes and they sped up the pace, but I'm guessing what they wanted was to really develop the backstory. What was really going on prior to and after the killing took place. You know, they really want you to understand Candy and her motivations, the affair she was having with Alan, and they really want you to feel it, I guess. And you know, a lot of the scenes were just like they were really, really slow, really quiet. You know, they kind of hang the shot, you know, just on somebody's face for a while. You could tell they're thinking about what they're talking about. You know, so artistic choice. And while it's not bad, when you're talking about something that's over 4 hours, almost 5 hours, you know, it gets it's hard to binge because it's kind of boring in parts. So there were really interesting parts in the episodes, but then there were some parts that was like wanting to grab my phone. I had to make myself stop grabbing my phone because I wanted to enjoy this, and I did. It's really good, but I can tell you there's some people that won't enjoy it. It's very artistic. It's very you have to really love film and cinema, I think, to really appreciate it and enjoy it. Not saying that you won't like it, but you know, the pacing is really slow. So if you're an impatient person and you don't like stuff like that, then you're not going to like this at all. If you're intrigued by the story, if you're intrigued by this, I'm going to call her crazy because this woman was nuts. Candy Montgomery, if you're intrigued by that type of stuff and what motivates people to do things that they do, then you'll find it interesting. And, you know, it's hard, you know, when you're talking about a case where, well, I'm gonna wait for that for a little bit of spoilers, but I'm gonna give my rating. My rating is probably a 7. You know, I would love to give it an 8, but I think it was just a little too slow to give it that high of rating and to really convince people that they need to watch it. You know, if you like stuff like that, I think you'll enjoy it. But if you're a fast-paced person, you like action, and you know you like to binge watch something because like, ooh, what's next? This is not the show that's going to do that. I split it up in like 3 days, so you'll probably have to do that as well if you watch it. But it's really interesting. It's not a huge payoff at the end, but you kind of, you know, see what her story was. So yeah, I'll give it a 7. And with that, I'm gonna go into spoilers, and if you like, please give a thumbs up and come back for the next one. So getting to the spoilers, you know, she gets away with it. Okay, I say gets away with it. She gets found not guilty. And when you have a case where there's only 2 people that were there and one of them's dead, it's kind of hard to, you know, prove a case against that person. And you're talking 1980. Forensics exactly weren't what they are now, and so she gets on the stand and she gives a enough reasonable doubt to where, you know, she's not convicted. But what I find interesting is how Hulu portrayed it as she did it, she wanted to do it, but you're never going to know the story, you know, like she has that at the very end, you know, she eats that little peppermint, just kind of smirks. And so I don't know, I find that interesting. I like that kind of stuff where, you know, did she do it, did she not do it? And whoever wrote this must really believe that she did it to write it and for Jessica Biel to portray it that way, that she, you know, because, you know, during the show she really starts to enjoy the cheating on her husband and going out and partying and getting to do, you know, and having the thrills that she didn't have before she became a wife and mother. So, you know, kind of like a midlife crisis, but she was only 30. But I guess she felt she missed out, and once she got a taste of cheating and partying, well, then that's all she wanted to do. So I don't know, that's an interesting woman. And then, at the end, they say she becomes a mental health counselor. Like, wow. So anyway, I'm very intrigued by it, and HBO Max is doing their version of it. Same story. I don't remember what it's called, but it's supposed to come out this year, and it's Elizabeth Olsen is playing Candy. So I'll watch that one just because I want to see how they do it. Are they going to portray it, the same as Hulu did, where this woman was um, a little nuts and basically murders a lady for, we don't really know why. You can only deduce that it's because the woman confronted her about having an affair with her husband, and she killed her. So I'm kind of interested as if HBO is going to go the same route, or if they're going to go maybe another route, or they're going to go more into the case. Man, I wish I would have said that before the end of the spoilers. That's one of the things I was a little disappointed. There's only the last episode is the court part of it, and it's I don't know, it's very vague. It's not like a courtroom drama where you hear and you see all kind of things. It was really quick. So I guess maybe they felt that was less interesting than showing Candy and just what she was doing. I don't know, which is why I kind of think there was some filler. Maybe if they'd have gone, it probably would have interested me more if they'd have done more of the courtroom stuff. But instead, they did more of the backstory stuff. So either way, good show, good story, and I would like for everybody to watch it, but not everybody likes that kind of stuff. But if you do watch it and you'd like to let me know what you think, leave a comment, because I'm curious. I haven't really heard or seen people talk about this show much, so I don't know how many people are watching it. So I'd like some comments and some feedback, and see what other people think. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for me, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.